when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Live on my YouTube channel, I'm Rich Mancuso, Spring Punk Entertainment, TD Sports Talk. Welcome to Keep It in the Ring, this Saturday early evening edition of December 20th, 2025. Holiday season is here. This is our last live broadcast of the year with Keep It in the Ring. And in the hour ahead, we'll go over the year briefly in boxing of 2025. My social media handles, my friends, Ring786 at Facebook, Rich Mancuso, and Ring786 at X, and also on Instagram. You can get me, read my content on Latino sports. In fact, my latest just went up on what we're going to talk about in a moment, Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Your comments always is welcome here to the channel as we go along in the next hour or a little more. And we keep it in the ring also with the pro wrestling. We're going to go to Terrence Crawford this hour. We'll talk about him. His retirement stunned the boxing world this past week. The Jake Paul fight last night with Anthony Joshua. Where did the two go from there? The recap in 2025 with boxing. The Masked Man finally revealed in WWE, as you know. We'll go into an analysis of that. More boxing analysis, the recaps, and you know what we do here. Nostalgia Fact of the Week. Tommy D from TD Sports Talk, my esteemed host and colleague, joins us in a moment. But first, we begin with the spectacle of last night down in Miami, Florida. As Jake Paul, as he said, got my ass beat. But this is what goes with this sport. It's what it's all about. Well, it's all about this. Jake Paul was demolished. Anthony Joshua played around with it, a couple of rounds, gauntlet type of thing, running around a 22-inch ring. Kind of a bore fest at the beginning, and then it got interesting. And of course, as you saw, the referee got involved in this because Jake Paul stumbled down about 5 times before getting knocked down about 4 times. And that was ridiculous as it was. And here we go. We're thinking now, is this following a script? Of course, the controversy all along earlier this year with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was that was scripted. And my friends, to this day, I still believe the Tyson-Paul fight, despite what they say, was a script, despite the lawsuits at MVP Promotions, who promoted this latest one again with Jake Paul. And they said they were taking people filing lawsuits saying that Jake Paul fights only to the script. Well, my friends, this wasn't a script, as you and I and so many millions others on Netflix watched this last night. This went along with the script of Anthony Joshua being the better fighter. An esteemed 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, experienced, of course, had the height advantage, the power advantage. Jake Paul met his match, as I write in LatinoSports.com in my column. It was that ferocious right of Joshua that did Jake Paul in, that has demolished so many others in his heavyweight championship career. It was Jake Paul, being Jake Paul, wanted to go against bigger guys, the cruiserweight, and a fight that wasn't sanctioned and had no title implications at all. 8 rounds, it went 6. In the end, here, you got to give a lot of credit for Jake Paul, as many do in boxing, for what he did. He stepped into the ring after Gervonta Davis and his run-ins with the law, and that original fight got scrapped. So Anthony Joshua took on the challenge. From the beginning, we all thought this would be a mismatch. I gotta say this, Joshua made it look easy towards the 4th round on, whereas Jake Paul made it look like this was going to be an interesting fight. And then there were a lot of questions about Anthony Joshua here, because he said he'd knock him out in the 1st round, if not the 2nd. Of course, that didn't happen. A lot of questions. Anthony Joshua was out of the ring for 15 months. But he went back in there, did what he had to do. He needed a win, sort of a tune-up fight, because as he said afterwards, let's get Tyson Fury, who's soon to come out of retirement, and that long heavyweight legitimate fight will happen at some point in the new year. Joshua and Tyson Fury, at Wembley in the UK before 80,000 plus more fans. As for Jake Paul, we leave him with this as we take a look at that quick knockout first. Let's roll that first and look at how this finished so quick in that 6th round.
Reaction there out of Jake Paul, but when he gets caught with his hands down and his chin served on the platter for that right hand right.
You saw how dangerous of a right Anthony Joshua has. He's had that throughout his career. He showed it to Jake Paul. This is what you say you don't play boxing. Now, I'm not saying that Jake Paul is not a legitimate fighter. He is. Except he shouldn't be ranked 14th by the WBA, where other fighters well deserving more should be there. And also, Jake Paul should not be fighting heavyweights. He wants to be a cruiserweight. He says he's going to go after the cruiserweight champions, which is, you'll see later on this hour, that's a tough division in boxing right now. And Jake Paul now lies in a hospital with a cracked jaw. He took on a little too much last night down in Miami, but then again, when is Jake Paul to be taken seriously? Seriously here, though, is this. Jake Paul is a fighter. Jake Paul has shown that he's improved his skills. Jake Paul has done a lot for the sport. In fact, he's exposed the sport to a level that we haven't seen in a long time, given it needed exposure, much of it to do because it's a Jake Paul name, the influencer from YouTube. And in the years since he's turned pro, those skills have progressed. But he met his match, Anthony Joshua, the established 2-time heavyweight champion who had a lot lying on the line had he lost that fight last night. Joshua moves ahead. Jake Paul will take some needed time off. Most of all, we hope he's well and that his jaw gets back to 100%, that his physical condition is okay. And I'm sure he'll continue, but not battle heavyweights, but cruiserweights. With that in mind, let me bring in Tommy D, my producer colleague, an esteemed colleague he is, and good friend, TD Sports Talk. Tommy, come on in, my friend.
What's going on, Rich? How's everything?
I got it. How you feeling today? I know you've been under the weather.
Yeah, I've been having a couple of health problems trying to take care of.
Yeah, we all do, even at my age. I saw the doctor the other day. I'm okay. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to be in a hospital where Jake Paul is, so don't have to worry about that. Tom, your thoughts briefly about last night as we roll more images of what was a spectacle, no doubt about it.
It was, to me, it was hilarious. I thought it was like a cartoon or a video game, to be honest. I laughed from round one all the way to the end. I mean, I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was entertaining. It made me laugh. I just thought it was pretty funny, just the way, Paul was on his bike. He was running the entire way. You could tell there was a little bit of fear in him. There was moments where, he tried to wound up and take a big shot and take a chance. He connected a couple of times, but really, Joshua wasn't fazed by anything. And I don't think Joshua went in there trying to box or anything. He went in there trying to just knock him out. And, knockouts are not that easy. So, I mean, I know he'll get criticized for it, but he went in there thinking he was just going to knock him out, and eventually he did. In my opinion, Joshua wasn't in great condition. He looked gassed after round two, in my opinion. I thought he looked a little bit
15-month layoff.
Yeah,
you can give him that.
Yeah, so, and he had to lose some weight. He had to actually make weight for the first time in his career.
And, it is. Tom, not to cut you off, but, as the fight progressed, I'm going now. This is a fight. Because I gave Jake Paul at least 2 rounds in that fight. It was scheduled 8-rounder. How many did you give him?
I might have gave him 1. I mean, because there was rounds, like the first round, I think they both landed like 2 punches. So, if you wanted to give him that just for maybe landing 1 punch or whatever, fine. But, yeah, nothing, he ran. I mean, Joshua was the aggressive, just the aggressor in that fight. He was looking to just, land something big. And, Paul was on his bike, didn't really, try to do anything except tackle him a couple of times to the floor, So I just thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, and I found that interesting, what was going on there, that he Florida down 5 times. He went down on his own, and the referee said, cut the crap. It was made referenced on the broadcast. A good friend, Morrow, described that what the referee was saying, and also said, cut the crap. This is not what the fans came to pay for. Agreed. And then it picked up, and then Paul was obviously, as you said, losing his stamina. Obviously, from the first few rounds, I had saw that. And then you saw the experience of Anthony Joshua coming on after a 15-month layoff and that devastating right. Tom, where does two things I'm posing to you, as I mentioned in my opening, where does Jake Paul go from here? He says that he's going to continue. They're saying maybe June or July he comes back. Got to obviously go to the cruiserweight division, and of course we're looking at Fury and Joshua at some point in the new year.
Well, I think first thing, I think Jake is probably going to take a rest. He's got what they say is a broken jaw. We have a little bit of image of that. I mean, I can play that real quick.
Yeah, let's take a look. It was all over social media
show like
today.
A little image. I don't know how legit or not legit, but let's.
Paul, but when he gets caught with his hands down and his chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And
yeah, so I mean, they see he's got a heel, obviously. I think he's trying to do too much. I mean, he was training for Tank Davis. Then he went and that didn't happen. He had to train for Joshua. He's bringing in quality sparring. Like he brought in some quality heavyweights, got beat up there. He brought in some quality, lightweights, Shakur, and had a couple guys in there. He sparred with them. So he's getting good work, but I think he's getting too much, obviously with him running around the ring, I think too much he's gassed. So I think he does need a break. Focus on, promoting the women like he's been doing. He's doing an excellent job with that. And I think, come back. He's going to get another big fight, maybe at cruiserweight, and see what happens. Let's see if he's really the real deal. I do give him credit for going in the ring, right? I mean, you got to give him credit. I mean, $92 million or whatever money he made in that fight. I mean, that I would go in there and take a punch. You know what I'm saying? But it's easier said than done, right? So I'll do give him some credit for that. But let's see.
Definitely felt you're watching that, and you felt that impact of the Joshua right, and you saw that Jake Paul was in a lot of trouble with the jaw, among other things. And Joshua came in at a great shape, great weight. I think the lowest he's been, it might have been lowest or second lowest weight of his career. Jake Paul was in just as great shape and prepared to fight a heavyweight as a cruiserweight. And basically, he didn't belong in there with the heavyweight, and I hope he doesn't do it again. But that chapter's over. This part of the Jake Paul spectacle is over. I just hope that Jake Paul is recovering and will be okay, and that he doesn't take on heavyweights no more. That's my last words on this.
Well, Jake is going to do what Jake's going to do. If it makes money to him, it's going to make sense, and he's going to put it up. And if Netflix is going to continue giving money to random fighters, big name fighters, then they're going to take it, and he's going to put on the show. I mean, it's that simple. But what's funny is that Netflix has all this money to give out to Jake Paul with these fights. They could give out money and make real fights. I mean, I don't understand it. But so I think as long as there's Jake Paul and Netflix is willing to give the money, you're going to see side shows like this.
And if you get a big name like Anthony Joshua to fake Jake Paul, you're going to get big numbers on Netflix, more money. That's what it's all about. Heavens knows who's going to be next, but every fighter that I've talked to in the last week has said the same thing. I want to fight Jake Paul. And you know why? Because they know they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
And also they're not happy the fact that a guy like this was ranked coming in 14th by the WBA. Obviously, the ranking will go down, but that's what you call boxing politics, because they know Paul draws in the money and has the fans and the followers to rank him 14th or wherever he would be. But for now, that chapter's over. But, overall, that card wasn't too bad on Netflix list. I was impressed with Alicia Bungarmer, female fight. She won that easy, 118, 109, 117, 110. 10 twice. Women's title 130 she keeps. She looked good. She looked pretty good, Tom.
She did look good. That was the only other fight I watched. I didn't watch anything before that. As you know, like I was saying, I wasn't feeling well, but I did watch that fight. She looked very good. She dropped her opponent. and she just looked good. She beat her up. I mean, you look at her face. She
Yeah.
looked really good. She kind of got lapsed a little bit in late rounds. I don't know if it was like 10 or 11, and she got caught with some shots. But overall she looked good, and she's another fighter, a female fighter that's an advocate for 12 rounds, 3 minute, 3 minute rounds, 12 round fights. So I mean, she showed that she can do it, go 12 rounds and go those extra minutes. So kudos to her. Whether or not it's going to be as exciting every other time, because I kind of like the 2 minute rounds for the women because they got to pick up the pace and it's a little bit more exciting. 3 minutes, I don't know if that energy's there, but Baumgartner, she looked good. The first round was a little bit off, but she looked good pretty much.
She looked good to me, and you know what? On a Jake Paul card as well. And take nothing away from that, he helps promote female fighters. Amanda Serrano, of course, fighting in Puerto Rico, MVP Promotions card coming up first week of the new year. That also on Netflix. I think that one's on Prime. I don't think that's Netflix. I think that's Amazon Prime. I think we have to look at the calendar. But this fight, real quick, Tom, two form.
What I see,
it's on the zone. See, yeah, but Anderson Silva in the octagon, 50 years old, goes into the ring, drops Woodley. From the octagon to boxing, I could have done without that, but you got to hand it to Anderson Silva, 50 years of age. He says he's going to continue as well, become a police officer down there in the Miami area or somewhere down there.
Yeah.
We got this stunning announcement during the last week about Terrence Bud Crawford. Caught everyone off guard. Okay, and I want fans to comment as we go along here, and do feel free to read the comments as we go along, Tom, as we go live here on YouTube this Saturday night. It was stunning. The 5-time champ Terrence Bud Crawford, Hall of Fame bound. We didn't expect this. Hanging up the gloves. And he had a very, very, it was a compelling 5-minute video on his YouTube, and explained it was time. Terrence a very low-key guy. I've known him a long time. And he just as low-key as he was on that video announcing his retirement. Thanked the boxing world, what he's accomplished. But I don't think we've seen the end of him as far right now as a competitor. You know how fighters like to retire and come back. I don't know if Terrence wants that. He's got plenty of money. He made a lot of money. Of course, Hall of Fame bound. Unified the welterweight 147 titles. Errol Spence a few years ago in the 4-belt era, first time, got all the titles. And then the latest, the controversy, and at the end, the WBC title relinquished because he didn't want to pay the sanctioning fees, which he got hit in the back for because a lot of people didn't like the fact that he was stipping so-called WBC. But then again, I give Terrence a lot of credit for doing that because he's sanctioning organizations, all these alphabet soup groups. They take money from the fighters at big percentage rates, and Terrence took exception to that and relinquished the WBC title. So he was no longer undisputed, but with the legacy, defeating Canelo Alvarez, the icon, and taking those titles, Tom. So, great career for Terrence Crawford. 18 world title fights, 5 weight classes, unified at 147 and in Canelo at 168. Never turned down an opponent, was always there. No controversy out of the ring that we see too much often. Yes, it was an end of an era to Terrence Bud Crawford. We wish him nothing but the best, Tom, but I know we're going to see him out there somewhere, maybe even on the commentary desk.
Might be. Terrence Crawford is always in shape. He's always in the gym. He's a gym rat, kind of like the way Floyd Mayweather was. I was shocked to see him retire. I thought he would take one more big fight, big money fight, being that, in that Canelo fight, Canelo made more to him. So I thought maybe they do a rematch or maybe take one more big money fight where he'll get $100 million as he deserves. But Bud Crawford in this era, definitely one of the best. It's unfortunate that a guy at his level didn't get those kind of named opponents that maybe Floyd had fought, right? Because Floyd fought, if you look at Floyd's resume during his era, he's fought like 9, maybe 10 Hall of Famers. And Bud, he's fought some good competition. I think the two Hall of Famers that come to mind, obviously Errol Spence, in a fight that he didn't really want to fight Errol Spence. I'm gonna just call it the way I see it. He didn't want to fight. Errol Spence helped make that fight, and then the other Hall of Famer in Canelo. There's some other quality guys. I just don't think they're Hall of Fame material, like Porter. He might make Hall of Fame or not, but I think that doesn't mean that he's not an all-time great. I think Bud Crawford definitely, at the very least, an all-time great. He gave me and gave us what we wanted to see, something that we never seen, undisputed in three divisions. I mean,
and
I don't
moved
know
up, all-time great. Yeah, that term tends to go sometimes a little too far. A top 20 fighter in my era, I'm going to say yes. The fact that he also moved up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez, to me, that was impressive. Regardless, Tom, he put a stamp on the boxing world. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt, quickly. And he leaves a lot of great memories. And to me, his fights were interesting. I liked his defensive style. I liked the way he finished off opponents. Basically, 8th round, he came on strong. He did what he had to do when he went in that ring, and that's why he remained undefeated and went on to become this 5-time champ. Great job.
And listen, at welterweight, I mean, he did something that I don't know if anybody else has done, but every opponent he fought at welterweight, he won by stoppage. I mean, that's very impressive. So shout out to Bud Crawford. I mean, he's had a great career, definitely an all-time great. He's fun to watch. You can't say that you were bored watching Bud because he can box as well. He go in there and try to stop you and put you away. I mean, his probably the biggest stinker of a fight might have been the one at 154 against was it Madrimov?
Madrigalov, yeah.
Yeah. So listen, shout out to Bud. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to see what he did again, and he definitely is a fan. We got a chance to meet him, right? I should have put those pictures up.
That was really the first time at the Garden early this year where I really got to talk to him one-on-one, face-to-face like that. Well, not buddies like Bud Crawford calls himself, but we did meet face-to-face, finally had a nice talk prior to the fight being officially announced with him and Canelo. And as I wrote in my column about his retirement, he said fight's going to happen and he would win it, and he was always confident about a win. And sure enough, he was a man of his word. So congratulations on a great career, Terrence Bud Crawford. The question is, have we seen the last of him in the ring? So he says, as all fighters do, and then they come back. All right, Tom, briefly, let's recap. A week later, after last Saturday, we have a new cruiserweight champ. We're talking about that division that Jake Paul is going to have his eye on now. Hopefully, he doesn't go to heavyweight, as we said. WBC, Makabalov, 28-3, 12 knockouts, regained the title from Bodo Jack. Unanimous decision. That was on Prime pay-per-view. 116, 110, 116, 110, 115, 111. He's looking at Opatai for unification. That's what he wants.
Yeah, I don't know about this guy. And, Badu Jack, I thought was kind of cheated a little bit in this fight. This guy was a little bit dirty. It was a very dirty fight up to like the 9th, 10th round. And then I think this guy, I can't say his name. I know his first name is Noel, so we'll just go Noel. Right, Noel is his first name.
We'll call him Noel.
Yeah, so he did win the final 2 rounds, maybe final 3 rounds after the referee kind of disciplined them about the back of the head punching and stuff like that. But very dirty fighter. Badu Jack was very humble in defeat. He could have made a case and argue with the ref a little bit, but he's very humble. He gave the guy his credit. But I don't think any of these guys are ready for Jai Opataya. I don't think that's...
Yeah, well, you know what? That's a division now. The boxing world talking about the cruiserweights. Jake Paul, of course, when he decides to come back, wherever he's going to be, let's face it, Paul is still ranked. Opatai is a fearsome cruiserweight. You got to watch him. And waiting there, maybe, got Gilberto Zordo Ramirez. You have David Benitez moving up in weight to go in that division. So it gets very, very interesting, doesn't it?
It does. Imagine, I mean, um, Ramirez is a solid cruiserweight guy, cruiserweight champion. Him and Benavidez, I think that's a great fight. But let's say Benavidez does win. Benavidez and Jai Opataya, do you think that can happen? You think that
Well,
'cause
first,
Opataya is a big cruiserweight.
yeah,
He's gonna move up heavy.
no. Ben Benitez could move up. That's not an. And he said that he would eye cruiserweight and he'd want to win another title in another division. And yeah, Ben Benitez has power. Remember that. And with that power, I think he could win it. But that would be a very interesting fight in that division if that ever happened.
Yeah, it very would. Benavidez with the activity and stuff, but
Hmm.
we've seen Benavidez get dropped a couple times, and Jai Opataya,
He's got
he's got
power. He's
ridiculous
got
power.
power. He does too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's an
some
intriguing fight for sure.
Something to look forward to in the new year in boxing is that cruiserweight division. And we talked to Diego Pacheco last weekend on the zone. He may not be ready for a title at 168 yet, even with Terrence Crawford out of the picture. 117, 110, 116, 111, 115, 112 unanimous decision he got over Sergio of France in Stockton, California. He closed out the year 25-0, 18 knockouts, 3 unanimous decision wins. That's what I question. He couldn't finish guys off. But the jab was there as always. Sergio put the pressure on with the left hook. Pacheco went down in the first minute of round 8. The talk about Pacheco and Cherise might be next February, part of Riyadh season, Tom. Briefly, your impressions on the latest and last fight of the year for Diego Pacheco.
I didn't think he looked good at all. I thought he might have maybe lost the fight. It could have been maybe questionable a draw. I mean, Pacheco did not look good. I think it was his first fight with a new trainer. He left the Benavidez camp. Pacheco, he's got to work on a few things, and he's got a good reach. He doesn't use his distance. He smothers his work. And if he fights a guy, let's say if he fought Mabili, who's kind of like an image, like a duplicate image of Sergio that he fought last week, but maybe a little bit more aggressive, I think he gets stopped. I mean, Pacheco's not ready, man. He might be, what some people say, food for certain guys.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect that tough fight with Sergio. I thought he would get dispose of him early. Not early, but in the mid rounds. You know how high I've been about this young man at 168.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, he's not ready, I believe, even for a Christian Medillion.
No,
In
that's
that
what I'm saying.
division.
Billy might stop him. That's a tough fight, and it'll be like fighting the last fight, the fight he just had with Sergio. They have similar styles. I think Mabili throws more punches,
Yeah.
and doesn't really smother his work all that well, as much as Sergio. I think he stops him. I mean, Pacheco, I've been high up too. I picked Pacheco to win last week. I think 8th or 9th round stoppage, if I'm not mistaken, in the fight pool that I'm in. And I thought he might have lost last week, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Some people thought he lost, but I gave him the win, but of course not as impressive as some of those judges did as well. Tom, move on. Ernest Mercado on that same card made a statement. The undefeated super lightweight, now under 18-0, 17 knockouts, defeated a formidable opponent in Antonio Moran, who's 31-8-1. His overhand right, 237 around 6. The WBO International Super Lightweight title. He did everything right, did Mercado. He's now in the mix now at that division at 140, which leads to a lot coming in the new year. And now we got Mercado to look at.
I like this kid. I mean, I think he has everything as far as what we want, as far as a fighter, and as far as the way he promotes himself. But he's got to fight better competition. He's got to fight guys his age or younger to really let me know that he can fight. Yeah, he's got power, but he's fighting guys that are pretty much tailor-made for him. What's going to happen if he fights a guy like Shakur?
I was just going to say that.
Somebody that can move.
There's
somebody
a lot
that
in
can
it.
box.
There's a
he can
lot.
sell the fight, but I don't know. I still need more data on this kid.
Yeah. He's not, I believe he's made a statement, but he's not ready yet to make that statement to gun for a major title at 140. because that is a very, again, we talk about cruiserweight division, we talk about 140. Always interest in that division, Tom. And then on that card, the lightweight Joe Cardina of Wales, unanimous decision over Gabriel Flores Jr. It gets 117, 110, 115, 112, 114, 13. The judges, the three blind mice at ringside, as I call them always, in good, they got that one right. All right, we move on. Did you hear about 43-year-old Nonito Donaire, the former champion, still fighting, losing a split decision to WBA bantamweight champ Tatsumi in Tokyo? That's why nobody really knew about it. Good early rounds for Nonito, but not enough. He didn't come on strong enough. He's still fighting, though, at 43 years of age, the Filipino Flash.
Yeah, and he still looks pretty good, especially for 43 years old. I'm not sure if he's going to continue to fight. I don't think he needs to continue to fight, but he likes to fight, and he keeps himself in great shape. And I don't know where he goes from there. I personally didn't see the fight, so I can't tell you.
Neither did I. I only saw a highlight of it. He didn't look like the younger Nonito Donaire. He's 43 years old. One of the oldest fighters out there right now, Arasandi Landra, is supposedly the oldest. Nonito Donaire might be the oldest fighter out there.
No, it's probably Lara, because I don't know if we know his real age or not. So.
And how about Tasu on the rebound after his loses these two losses to Sebastian Ventura? Coming off those losses, a one-sided unanimous decision win over Anthony Velasquez. Does Tasu still have a shot at whatever? He can fight at 160. He can fight at 140. Whatever. This guy can. It doesn't seem to go away.
Yeah, Tim Tszyu, I like Tim Tszyu. I think Tim Tszyu is a real fighter. I just don't know if his head is all there as far as like when he's in the ring after that fight with Fundora, the first one. I think his team really messed him up. Before that, Tim Tszyu was fighting 3 or 4 times a year, fighting quality opposition, and he wanted to fight he wanted to fight Charlo. Like, he was calling for the fights. So I respect Tim Tszyu. I like Tim Tszyu, the fighter. I just don't know if he has it anymore. When he steps in competition, I think eventually he's going to get beat up. I respect it, and the guy still wants to continue, but he's taking a lot of shots, from different fighters, and like I said, I respect it, but not so sure if he's going to be a world champion.
One of those popular fighters from the land down under in Australia. He says he's going to fight 3 times in the new year. Let's see where that goes. All right. Also, just recently concluded in Orlando, Florida, one of the alphabet soup organizations, Boxing Politics. Of course, the WBA, World Box Association Annual Convention. Champions now and of the past in attendance, including the great Roberto Duran. And on the agenda here was the WBA advocating to not abandon or get rid of the Muhammad Ali Boxing Act, which was a great move, and they anointed President Gilberto Mendoza to a term that goes into 2030. Now, the WBA, out of all the sanctioning groups, that might be the better one of them all, because I very rarely hear bad politics, boxing politics, that is, that comes out of this organization, Tom. They've been represented well by champions, except one thing. Who are their champions? And they're one of the major sanctioning organizations in the sport.
I don't know. I think they're just as bad. They're mostly, they pulled off some stuff. It's basically to get guys in South America, Latin America, some title shots that they probably didn't deserve. Look at the situation they have with Tank Davis. Tank Davis is their champion at 135. When is he going to defend it? Bringing guys up from other divisions. The latest was, I believe, was in Roach fighting Pitbull Cruz, and the situation there where they gave it was an interim title for, I guess, Pitbull Cruz has. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the WBA. That was a pretty good move that they just did as far as with the Muhammad Ali Act, but I think they're no different from the other sanctioning bodies.
Okay, Tom. Opinion granted. as always, here at Keep It in the Ring. All right, we're going to get to the fact of the week next. Before that, you got some comments you want to roll on from our loyal followers here at Keep It in the Ring?
Yeah, people just coming in saying hello. Excel came in talking about, when you was talking about Tyson and Paul, he said Tyson should have broke his neck, not his jaw. 903 Boxing saying what's up. Opulent LD coming in saying what's up as well, telling everybody hit the like button. Daniel Berry, shout out to him saying what's up. A1 Hoop saying hello. My man Frontline in there saying Mercado is trash. I didn't want to say that. I don't like to say fighters are trash, but I know what you mean about Tito Mercado. We just want to see him get tested. And basically saying hello. B3 Pick saying hello. And, of course, Frontline always clowning with me saying that I am Dominican, not Puerto Rican. He's saying who's fighting, which that is a good fight, by the way, Frontline. And it's bad that you do that because now you're going to make it look like, I'm vouching for my Dominican fighters now all of a sudden. But Santiago versus Centeno, that's a really good fight. I like Centeno a lot.
Well, Tom, are you Dominican or Puerto Rican?
I'm Puerto Rican. I'm half Puerto Rican. So they to, he likes to joke with me because I say a lot of Dominican slang and stuff. So.
I've met some of your loyal fans, and they are interesting, that's for sure. I've met them. But we want to thank them and all of you this year supporting Keep It in the Ring and me with Tommy D, who aligned with me here on YouTube Live. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Also, like the Facebook page, Keep It in the Ring, where we're also live right now. Tom, it takes us to the bottom of the hour. We're moving rapidly, and we're not going 2 hours tonight. It's holiday season, and I got to finish up my errands. Sure you do as well. So you ready for the fact of the week, being it's just me and you this week? And I got to tell you, you had a good year with the fact of the week. You had a good year with me with the fact of the week.
Yeah, I think I got it last week too, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, let's close out 2025, our last live broadcast of the year. And fans, comment as well if you can get the answer. Remember, it's a fact. It's not trivia. Holiday season. 1977, Israel Vasquez, the Mexican boxer, WBC IBF Super Bantamweight champ out of Mexico City. Now, why to Israel Vasquez Christmas Day so important to him? For Israel Vasquez. Yeah. Why is Christmas Day so important? Why is
it? This is the same guy that got his eye messed up, right?
Right. The Mexican fighter, the IBF, the IBF Super Bantamweight champ out ofXico City.
Was he born on Christmas?
No, you got it, my friend.
That was not that hard, man. Usually these factor weeks are tough.
Well,
that was
look, it was my gift to you for Christmas.
Hey, I've been hitting them. Last week was a good one, and I think I got it right too. And I was close to another one before that.
Well, in the new year, I Keep It in the Ring. I must have to give you some tougher facts of the week. Israel Vasquez, Christmas Day, born December 25th, 1977. Good for you, Tom. Glad you got it.
Hey, I'm a 77 baby too. I was born in 77.
Oh, there you go. There's some coincidence there.
Yeah,
good. All right, this leads us to our first break and brief one as we keep it in the ring. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's Tommy D, TD Sports Talk. Like, subscribe, comment to the channel. And don't forget to get me on my social media. And that boxing calendar remaining of the year is scrolling also at the bottom of your screen. Back with more Keep It in the Ring. We got pro wrestling to talk about, nostalgia to come, and much more. Stay with us. I'm Rich. This is Tom. Back in a moment.
You can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Back, Keep It in the Ring, this Saturday evening edition, the last Saturday of the year before Christmas, and our last broadcast live We'll do some YouTube shorts in the break before we come back live early in the new year. But let's review, Tom, 2025 briefly in the sport. A sport that, of course, always drives on controversy. We had a lot of that. 2025. A sport that developed new champions. We got a lot of that in the new year. And some good ones as well. Some great fights in 2025. Boxing, of course, is always going to have controversy, but you can't watch it on free TV. It's only streamed. You have Amazon, you've got Netflix, you've got what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? And the Zone is the worldwide leader. Netflix. And the Zone is the worldwide leader with the most fights of any promotion, with Eddie Hearn, the Turk guy involved, and Queensberry Promotions and Frank Warren out there in the UK. But we saw a lot of good things happen in the sport. And, you know, we're going to kind of Ben first, Tom, at 147 is where he's going to go now. Possibly retired Chris Eubank Jr. That I'm not going to forget. 2 fights they had. The first one, though, was the Blood War Classic. The second one, not as good, but Conor Ben might have retired Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah, pretty much. The first fight, I would think, was Fight of the Year. And you know, we had some other Fight of the Year candidates. The reason why I'm kind of leaning towards that is because there was bad blood in that first fight. Meaning they really did not like each other. It was not like they was just both coming in, competing, and we got a great fight. No, they went in, you know, hating each other. And, you know, they built some respect after that fight. So
there was a lot of animosity going into that first fight. And the promoter, Eddie Hearn, really got involved with it with Eubanks because he does promote Conor Ben. We're going to get to Ben Benitez at the end here, and there's a reason why. Okay? But let's talk about we want to know what fans think. Your fight of the year, maybe, round of the year. Everybody does that this time of year when the boxing calendar ends and the year ends. And also, what was the fight of the year? Or your fighter of the year, female or male in that respect. Look at where we going next.
Bud and Canelo. That was one.
That's right. There we go.
Fights of the year.
This was the most anticipated fight of the year. Turned out to be not too good for Canelo Alvarez. We all know what Bud Crawford did, Terrence did, dethrone the Mexican icon, and in commanding fashion. Went on undisputed, of course, dropped the WBC title as we talked earlier. And Tom, that was a buildup of hype. And it didn't turn out to be that great of a fight because Canelo wasn't Canelo that night. He might be declining. But Terrence Crawford definitely after this established his legacy.
Oh, he definitely did. And then I wouldn't say Canelo wasn't Canelo that night. I would think Bud made Canelo the way Canelo looked that night. You know,
let's face it. As we go back on that fight, Tom, that didn't look like Canelo Alvarez the way he could finish off an opponent in his illustrious career.
Well, Bud was moving, and Bud took a couple of good shots, and you know, but you know, Bud landed some good shots too. So credit to Canelo. I believe Canelo was hurt like late in that round too, late in the fight as well. And credit to Canelo for not, you know, getting dropped or hanging in there. I mean, I think Canelo is still Canelo. Yeah, he's a little bit slower, but it's hard to say because they're both about the same age. Bud maybe I think is a little bit older, so you know. But it was definitely.
Well, we know there's not going to be a rematch. There's not going to be a rematch. They had talked maybe about it because Crawford's retired. Canelo, what's next? That's what we got to see what happens to Canelo Alvarez in the new year. Tom, Gervonta Davis continued run-ins with the law. And that forced him to get out of the Jake Paul fight that led to Anthony Joshua. Gervonta had made it known this year after his draw with Lamont Roach. And he said that he wasn't going to fight much longer. He has one or two fights. Your thoughts briefly on the year for Gervonta Davis, who one of those, he's not a youngster no more. He's in his early 30s. He's still considered a world-class elite fighter. 140, not going to go to 147 or even 135. What do you think?
I think he had a terrible year. I mean, if I had to give him one positive, I mean, he had one bout. He had the bout here March 1st. I don't know if it was March 1st or March 31st. I get it confused, but it was in March in the Brooklyn where against
at Barclays Center.
And that was the only good thing. The good thing was they did sell out. And they were high attendance. But the bad thing was he looked bad that fight. Roach looked like he won the fight. There was some controversy in the fight where he took a knee, and then and that's just in the ring. And we're here to keep it in the ring, but outside the ring, he had some problems too.
A lot, a lot.
So,
He's a troubled young man. He's a troubled young man, and he might have to center on getting his life together before going back in the ring, because any promoter that wants to put on a major show, that being PBC mostly, it's a risk, because you never know what's going to happen with him. You're never going to know. But we wish him well. Wish him happy holidays.
Absolutely.
Hope he rebounds and gets his act together, because let's face it, when Gervonta Davis has his screws on tight, he's a very talented fighter.
No, I agree with that 100%. And I just think that's the thing. He's got to get his head together. I think he needs to make better decisions. Listen, we're not there. We don't know what's going on in his personal life. We can only judge from the outside. And, the safest thing I could say, to be fair, is that he's got to make better decisions so he doesn't end up in these situations that he's in now.
And we're not going to recap what he's been through, because everyone knows. All right, and you speak about the fight that went to a draw with Lamont Roach. This guy just can't get a fair break. He had that type of year. 2 consecutive draws. First with Gervonta, and then Pitbull Cruz, a fight that many thought he won over Pitbull Cruz. He joined the history books. Only 2 or 3 other fighters have had that. 2 consecutive draws in the same year. Lamont Roach wants a rematch with Cruz. Can we see that happen in the new year?
I very much doubt it. I think Pitbull Cruz does not want to fight Roach. I think he's going to do his best to try to get a fight with Tank Davis. Why? Because it's more money, and why he felt like he competed well with Tank Davis the first time. The reason why I don't think he would want to fight Roach is because Roach hurt Pitbull. Something that Pitbull has never had in his career, from what I've seen of his career. He was hurt. Roach hurt him a few times. He had Pitbull running in that fight, and I just don't think he want any parts of Roach. As Roach got stronger and better as the fight went on, and Pitbull Cruz is just happy to escape with a draw. So I don't think we'll see that rematch, and hopefully Roach can move on and get a good fight.
If he does get that rematch, he wants it in his hometown of Washington, D.C. I give him credit for saying that. Or we'll see. He's a player in the division, but he can't catch a break. And we hope for better things for Lamont Roach, who's a gentleman also outside the ring. This guy, our friend Teofimo Lopez, had quite a year. Barboza in Times Square saved that Ring 5 card, or whatever they call it, closed to the public. That disaster of a show with the Turk guy and Zulu and whatever, as they go into the new year with Arnold Barboza. Shakur waits for him next. The end of January, 31st, Barclays Center, and that's going to be on the Zone. Teofimo had a good year despite it all, and he looks focused now as he gets ready for Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say he had a good year, I said good year because he had a good performance on that card, maybe the best performance on the card. But we want to see him fight more. So he only fought one time this year.
Oh, he says he's going to fight more. He says after Shakur. And there's even a chance he'll jump another weight and go to 147 and challenge finally Devin Haney for his title at 147.
Listen, if he can do that, then all props to him. He's got a tough task with Shakur, January. And win or lose, it's still early January where he can make more fights, fight in April, May, and then fight at the end of the year. That'll be 3 fights this year. And that's all we want as fans. We want to see him, fight the best, and we want to see more of it. We don't want to see him fight just one time. So, yeah, right. Tio had a good year, but one time is just not good enough in my opinion.
No, I expect you're going to see him more than once in the new year. Happy holidays to our friend. He came on the program about a month ago or so and gave us some good content, good info, and it was great to thank you all for commenting. I got some of my fans here, Tom. You got him. I got him, too.
Yeah, well, BVO, he's a big fan of yours, and, he always says that you carry me in the show every week. So he's here. He calls me a turncoat. BVO's a very disrespectful human being. I don't know why I even.
How about this? Well, he's our fan of the year. I keep it in the ring.
BVO.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that. I can't. You can't do that. I gotta hear. I won't hear the end of it. Yeah. Oh man.
Keep It in the Ring continues our review of 2025, what to look ahead in the new year, and how about he became the superstar. 147, now to 154. Quest to unify the division, Gerard Boots Ennis, Tom. Quite a fighter he is. He's got power, he's got speed, he does everything right. And Virgil Ortiz Jr. might be, that's a fight that's going to happen in the new year. What do you think at 154? Will these two tangle in the new year?
I really, really hope so. That's a big, big fight. I like Virgil Ortiz as well. I do think Boots would beat Virgil Ortiz, but I don't think it's as easy as a lot of people may think. I think that's a very, very good fight. Listen, Boots had a good year this year. I mean, he fought twice. I mean, he'd had a tune-up, which I did not agree with, and when he came up to 154, kind of a waste of a fight. But he did have a unification fight with Stanionis, and he stopped him. Very impressive in that fight, before moving up to 154. So Boots had a good year. At least he fought twice this year, was active, so, and then he fought late last year. So, 3 fights in a 12-month span.
And
Listen,
two of them, because Eddie Hearn, the promoter at Matchroom, two of them, who says, by the way, that he's the greatest fighter out there today. He's one of the greatest fighters out there today. But 2 of them in his hometown of Philadelphia, where he likes to fight as well. So look for something there. Of course, Devin Haney, the champ in that division, WBO champ in that division. The heavyweight, Alexander Usyk, still minus one of those titles. I think he doesn't have the IBF. He doesn't have the IBF, right?
The IBF,
that the one?
yeah, the IBF.
That one is vacant. Again, the face of the heavyweight division. Still, we don't have a unified heavyweight champion. Usyk had another good year. Talks about hanging up the gloves as well. Retirement soon. But in the wings could be Anthony Joshua, assuming Tyson Fury and Joshua get it going. Maybe sooner than that. Usyk, I believe, will retire as a heavyweight champ in the new year.
I mean, we'll see. He's not that active. I think he only fought once this year. That was the rematch against Daniel Dubois, and he did fight in December of last year. So but yeah, not active. Only one fight against Dubois, and a fight where Dubois was at a party the night before, I believe. So I mean, so he's had a pretty easy going, Usyk. I would like to see him more active again in the new year. I mean, listen, the old days, back in the day, Rich, you're older than I am. The heavyweights were fighting 3 to 4 times a year.
Thomas, you must say I'm older than you. I don't want to hear that. I know it. But anyway, you're right. You're absolutely right. Heavyweights and champions used to fight 3-4 times a year back then. I remember that really well. So, yeah, I am old. Right.
One time, it's just not going to cut it.
No, it's not. Yeah. Nah. This guy now we're bringing up had another good year, fighting again next week in Japan. I believe it's in Japan. Inoue. Many say he might be the pound-for-pound best among all fighters. Junior featherweight division, he wants Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez. Rodriguez wants him. Your thoughts briefly.
Well, Inoue, I think it's a big card. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's in Japan or in Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure. But it's a Japan.
Oh no, it's card. I think it's in Saudi. You're right. It is in Saudi.
I think and he's lined up to fight. Yeah, it's in Saudi Arabia. He's fighting David Picasso, and this is his 4th fight, I believe, this year. And if he wins, and if Nakatani wins, that's the big major fight they're about to make. So before he could go to talk Bam Bam Rodriguez, he's got to fight with Picasso first, and then he's got a date most likely with Nakatani if Nakatani wins. And that's a big fight for Japan. Those are Japan's top 2 guys. Both guys are ranked in the top 10 pound for pound. And that's a fight that I like Nakatani in. I think Nakatani's the better fighter.
They're gonna go punch for punch. That division, that's what they do. Tom, is he in your label? Do you label him best pound for pound briefly?
No, I think this year the best pound for pound right now is Bud Crawford, which eventually will go away because he's retired. But Bud Crawford, to me, for 2025 right now, is the best pound for pound fighter. It just so happens that he just retired. So after him, it varies. I like Inoue. A lot of people may not like him because he fights in Japan. I like Inoue because he's active, and he's fighting. He's fighting every few months, 3 times a year, 4 times a year. And
which I love. The more fightish More fighters should do that. Yeah, it takes a lot out of them, but look, you play the NFL, you play once a week. In Major League Baseball, you play every day. Fighters are conditioned and good enough to go 3-4 times a year. They
I
did
think
years
so,
ago.
at least 3.
There's no
At least
difference,
3
and he
times.
can do that. He can
Yeah,
do
so
it. They
like
can all do it.
if I
You
had to
know?
end the top pound for pound of 5, I think he would be up there. I think Devin Haney earned a spot in top 5 in my opinion. Bam Bam Rodriguez, David Benavidez, and then maybe Usyk. But Usyk again, one time he's got to drop down. So you know, I think we should do a
All
pound
right.
for pound, top pound for pound, me and you.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's something we'll
Yeah.
do in the new year as we go into the new year when we're back live again. This guy Fedashin Vidura, what do they call him again? What's his nickname again? I just
Oh,
drew a
I
blank.
forget now. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, it was-
Inferno,
Yeah, the towering inferno
the
that he
towering
is.
Inferno. Yeah.
I became a champ at 154. Keith Thurman was supposed to be his opponent. They were supposed to fight once, and it got postponed again because this time Vendura, bad hand, bad wrist, whatever. They're going to do it in the new year. Briefly, Tom, your thoughts on Fundura? I still like him a lot. I'm very high on this young man, Mexican-American descent, a champion at 154. Can anyone beat this guy?
I think he's very beatable. I mean, yes, he's tall and he's rangy, but I think the chin is a little bit questionable. I think he got lucky against Zoo because Zoo, got bloodied, and then he was already stopped by Mendoza. So let's see what happens. He's supposed to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman up there in age, not been very active. Let's see what happens. I still don't know. I give him a lot of respect, but there were fights to be made. Xander wanted to fight him. They don't want to fight that. He didn't really want to try to unify. So not sure what he's going to do, but definitely a good fighter. Definitely one of the top guys at 154. Let me just read a comment real quick because I think this comment is a great comment. My man 903 Boxing, he believes Boots and stops Virgil inside 3 rounds. Right hook from the southpaw stance would be the money punch.
Quick enough to do
but
it.
not that
Yeah.
early. I think
I
it's gonna
agree
be
too,
seven.
but I agree, but not that early too. But that was a great comment. And also, we go by Fundura in the same division. We got to also remember that and look back, Madison Square Garden, where Xander Zayas became a champion at 154, and fighting since he was 16 years of age under the top-ranked boxing banner that still doesn't have a streaming network and no word on the latest on that at all. But Zayas is their champ, is a champ at 154, had a great year, fighting, defending the same night as Teofimo and Shakur, January 31st in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We'll keep an eye on them, on Xander in the new year. And Manny Pacquiao returned. The draw with Mario Barrios, he tried to become champ at 147 at 44 years of age out of retirement after 4 years. Pacquiao, we don't know what his next move is, but we know that Barrios might have for sure Ryan Garcia in the new year, who didn't have a good year at all, losing in Times Square on May 1st. But we look at Manny Pacquiao's son, made a successful pro debut, and Manny Pacquiao, the Pac-Man, the Hall of Famer, was back in the ring, and there's his son who debuted 2 weeks ago, won his debut fight. And before I give you my fighter of the year and yours, we got to look at the impact the Turk guy, Al Sheikh, and what he did in Saudi Arabia and the new UFA Fight League with Dana White. New champions. They want one champion. They're looking to abolish the Muhammad Ali Act. Made it a lot of money. Some have said he's lost a lot of money, that this can't continue. But every fighter wants to fight for the Turk guy because he brings out the money in them. Every fighter wants to be on those cards in conjunction with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, Queensberry, Frank Warren, or even Oscar De La Hoya at Golden Boy. While some promoters resent what he has done, you got to credit the Turk guy for this, Tom. He might be the promoter of the year because of the fact he brings the fighters in, the big names, and he delivers the fights to the fans.
Yeah, I mean it's a no-brainer. I think definitely the promoter of the year. I don't know if he's made money on any of these fights as far as profit-wise, but he's definitely given us some good fights that we wanted to see. He made some unification fights as well. So yeah, promoter of the year by far. We've got to see some really good fights, intriguing fights in 2025, and I guess we're going to see some more in 2026. He's responsible for the first one's coming up. Shakur and Teal, that's a ring card. So, and it's a very intriguing fight. I believe, it's the first fight at the Garden in the big house for the men's in a long time. I mean, the women, Amanda had it sold out pretty much with Katie Taylor, but the men's haven't fought in the big house. They've been fighting in the Hulu Theater. So credit to the Turk guy for doing that.
Yeah, he's my promoter of the year, and Eddie Hearn with Matchroom, who's always active, puts on the most fight cards because he's got the zone behind him as well. He might co-tie on that with me, but then what do I know? I don't get to vote on any of this stuff anyway. But yes, finally, I don't, because I'm not a member of the Bogus Boxing Writers of America. There are no righties in that group. Why could they call
Let me get a couple
of
of comments here regarding Boots Ennis. Somebody said inside 7 rounds. I think 6 or 7 rounds too. And there's a reason why I believe it won't be 3. It'll be 6 or 7. But the same Victor. But that'll be another time. Hopefully that fight gets made so we can talk about it. And
I think it will be made.
He says he'll be shocked if Xander wins. He's a good fighter. I just don't think he is that skilled. I disagree a little bit, but I think I agree as far as this is a tough fight that Xander does have. That guy Baru from Germany, he's good. That's a tough fight.
It is, but remember, it's in San Juan. It's in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So, but the judges are usually pretty good in Puerto Rico. They're not that biased as like in other places. So,
but three blind mice. You never know what's going to happen, as I call them. Tom, it comes down to this as we wrap up 2025 in boxing. You and I have gone through what we could. There's plenty more. Just don't have enough time to go over everything. But I hope we gave you a good perspective of what we think. My fighter of the year, put him up. Saved him for the last. Here he is, David Benavidez. They say he's the next Canelo Alvarez, Mexican-American, as he calls himself. And, of course, just defeated Yarde, light heavyweight. Going to have his sights on cruiserweight. Powerful as he is. And my fighter of the year, because he did what he had to do. And he's exciting. And he draws fans. And he's got the knockout to his credit. Tom, do you agree with me that David Benavidez, fighter of the year?
I think he's up there for fighter of the year. I really don't have a fighter of the year, and people are not going to like my fighter of the year when I do pick him because I'm going to wait to see how he performs next week. Is it next week or maybe in a few days? Benavidez is definitely up there as fighter of the year, top 5. I don't know where I rank it. I think Devin Haney is up there as fighter of the year, but I'm going to go with Inoue. I think Inoue is my fighter of the year. If he wins again, 4 fights, defending undisputed for a 4th time. If he gets this win, I got to give it to David. I got to give it to Monster Inoue. I'm sorry. I know people are not don't like the Monster Inoue. I like Monster Inoue. I think he's good. I think it's hard to gauge the little guys, plain and simple. But as much as I like Inoue, I still think Nakatani beats him. So, but that's next year. That's not this year. So,
and Benavidez, let's see. Benavidez has taken some time off, and let's see what his next move is at the light heavyweight champ. Or does he move up to cruiserweight? But they're saying him and Zuro Ramirez, sometime in the new year, early or mid in May.
Cinco de Mayo weekend, yeah.
And the Turk guy would promote that. So Cinco de Mayo weekend, what Canelo usually is not going to be him. It's going to be David Benavidez. Yeah. And cruiserweight would be up for grabs. He'll get it in another title. I see him wins that fight. That's my fighter of the year, David Benavidez. Good job wrapping that up, Tom. I'm going to go over UFC 2025 this year. Briefly, Islam Makhachev and Topuria, they announced their retirements out of the octagon, the heavyweight title. Aspinall and Gane was no contest because of the eye poke. Their pay-per-view numbers are very, very strong. Now they're going into the new year. UFC Dana White with all their number of events, 304, 305, whatever. Can't even keep count anymore. Paramount Plus, that's where you're going to see them. So they're getting great exposure there. And we're still waiting to see if John Jones and Conor McGregor, what moves they're going to make in the new year, UFC, MMA. So good year for them as well. and a great year for boxing overall, Tom, in 2025. Thanks for your help on that. All right, you want to take this break now to wrap and go to the wrestling and everything else, or do you want to do
let's do
WWE
that.
first?
Yeah.
Take a break?
Yes, sir.
All right, one quick time out. Then we're going to do wrestling and wrap everything up. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, String Punk Entertainment. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, Rich Mancuso, on YouTube, social media at the bottom of the screen. Stay with us. Back in a moment. I'm Rich. This is Tom. Keep it in the ring.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Tom Pizza, and that's what I'm having when we're off the air, when we leave. I'm going to have pizza.
Hey, I might get a slice after this too.
Hey, I got a good report from my doctor this week as well. I can go in the ring if I want.
Hey, Rich, I don't know, man. Hey, we've been close to the ring a few times this year. That was another thing I wanted to bring up. Not only the fights of the year that we've watched, but we've attended a bunch of fights this year as well. So
Yeah, we did, and
attending the fights.
We did.
One in particular was the Keyshawn Davis title win back in February, where we met Bud Crawford. That was a good card. That was a really big card. It was in the Hulu Theater, but a lot of special guests were there that night. But yeah, big year for us as attending fights. And I also got to add, because he's my buddy and we've been promoting him a lot, Keith Cologne, another big year, keeping busy this year.
Yeah, we want to thank all, and I was going to do this later. I'll do it again. We want to thank not only you fans who've supported Tom and I here at Keep It in the Ring and TT Sports Talk, but also all the guests we've had on the program live, including the fighters who make this sport. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be talking what we talk about every week here on YouTube, on my channel and Tommy D's channel. They make it. They do it, and we appreciate when they come on. We've gotten everybody from Teofimo Lopez this year to Keith Thurman and many, many more, including your guy Keith Cologne numerous times. We've had some promoters on. We've had some of our colleagues in the industry comment. I want to thank them all. They take the time out from their busy schedules and everything else, and they help us out as well. And they've been great guests on the program this past year.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the. We had a lot of guests. We had a lot of fighters.
We did.
We've had.
And your help, of course, getting some of them as well. Which that's why I got you, Tom.
Use me for the talent, to get the talent on the show.
No, I use you for your information. Who said that?
Hey.
I do use you to try and stump you with Fact of the Week every week.
Yeah, but I've been doing good with the Fact of the Week.
We did it again this week. You got me. Let's move to pro wrestling. An interesting 2025 with WWE now part of ESPN. And everything that's been going on with Triple H and the controversy after last Saturday night's main event. John Cena tap out. And that smile on his face to Gunther in his final match. What did you make of it?
Pathetic. I mean, they could have done a better ending. I know this is what John Cena wanted. He wanted to put Gunther over, but they could have done a better job. The smile and the tap out. I mean, they could. There's other ways you can put a guy over. Listen, one of the best ways a guy got over was when Stone Cold lost to Bret Hart. He didn't tap out. He bled out, and they just he passed out, and that was good. He didn't tap out. So I don't know. I didn't like the ending. I know this is what John Cena wanted.
Yeah, it's what he wanted, and it passed the torch for sure to Gunther, who's going to probably get a world title in the new year somewhere. And I saw nothing wrong with it except for that smile on Cena's face. But that smile went to say, you know what? It's over. He realized that was it. It was over. And I thought this was very fitting how Cody Rhodes and CM Punk came in that ring with, well, all the WWE talent did, but gave him the 2 championship belts, and how Cena left his shoes and what else did he put down on the mat there when it was over?
Like his wristbands and stuff, too.
Yeah, I thought that was very emotional, and that was a fitting tribute with Cody and Punk in the ring with him. And the crowd wasn't happy about the ending, but again, they got to realize again, this was Cena's idea. Yeah. He wanted it to end this way.
I thought it was pretty funny. They booed Triple H. That was great.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that was wrong. You know, Triple H is coming a lot of attack, a lot of rumors and talk that maybe he's going to be out of creative. But I thought Triple H had a good year. The new venture too with ESPN, and they started with Netflix, and they're going to come back with a Netflix big show in New York, Barclays Center, the first show of the new year, Monday Night Raw. And, you know, Braun Breaker broke out, and he's going to become eventual. He'll probably be, you know, they'll probably go into WrestleMania with that. We're going to get into WrestleMania season soon with the Royal Rumble, just a few weeks away, believe it or not. But look, go back to Cena. Look, Kurt Angle lost his retirement match. Goldberg to Gunther in his retirement match. And Shawn Michaels in his retirement match. Even Ric Flair lost his final match. So what's the big deal?
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, Shawn Michaels, understand Undertaker, but these are guys that in the same No, actually, no, Shawn Michaels wasn't. Cena's the only guy out of those that been with the same company his whole career.
Yeah.
You know, because the Rockers, Shawn Michaels with the Rockers, I think that was AWA or NWA. Ric Flair, obviously, somewhere. Undertaker was Mean Mark Callis in WCW. So, yeah, John Cena's been with the same corporation his whole career. You don't see that.
And he's going to be around. He's not going to be in the ring. Maybe, I don't know if he'll do any run-ins down the line, but he's going to be an ambassador, and he'll probably have on commentary once in a while. He's great for that. But he's moved on. We've seen the last of him as an active competitor. Great career. When is planned? We talked about it with Robbie Rebel. By the way, we got to thank Robbie Rebel coming back last week and being a big part of this program on our wrestling segment with the Rebel Rant. Everyone likes him. And we'll have him back in the new year as well. So congratulations to John Cena. And the Masked Man finally revealed. Now we know, as the beginning, as we said, at War Games Survivor Series, that it was Austin Theory. They did play around with some others, including Montez Ford under the hood. But finally, they revealed it sooner than I thought. I thought this was going to continue.
Yeah, I was shocked that they made it so soon. Now I want to see what they do. I mean, this guy's got more chances than anyone, you know, to get, you know, big pushes for world titles and stuff. So I'm very interested what the storyline is going to be.
I tell you what I think. Glad you brought it up. I think Theory is going to plot against the Oracle Paul Heyman and turn on those guys and join forces with, you know, whether it be Punk or whatever. Or when Seth Rollins returns, he joins forces with Rollins because they've done that before.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. This is a Triple H thing too. So let's see how creative they get with this. But obviously, Theory is getting another opportunity, another big push that he got before, but didn't kind of capitalize. The only guy to win the Money in the Bank and not cash it in on a world title. That was kind of, you know, kind of lame.
Well, now we know that Austin Theory's back and he was under the hood. That mystery suspense is over. This caught me off guard, but then again, it was controversial what Mick Foley said, the Hall of Famer. He's been relieved of his... he walked away. He didn't get fired. It was his decision to walk away. He's done with WWE. That means he's not even an ambassador no more for them. You won't see him no more because of some comments at WWE and their company are big supporters of the President Donald Trump. All right? Foley's not. Didn't like the comments that Trump made, I think, about Rob Reiner, the late Rob Reiner, tragically. Well, that last weekend as well. Foley walked away. and probably won't return. You might see him pop up somewhere, but not in WWE. That was sad the way he had to walk away.
Yeah, but he stood on his morals, and and stood on his opinions, and then he left. And he did it, his way. He wasn't. I
Yeah.
don't know what he was doing behind the scenes anyway, as far as
He was an
talent.
ambassador, or he
Yeah.
maybe once in a while show up in a gimmick that they were going to do. But that was it. That was basically it. But he's not. He has a hard time walking too. Some people I've known have seen him in airports where he could hardly walk from, and he had to be wheelchaired to the gate. But what a great competitor he was, and an ambassador for the WWE. Sad to see him go. AEW World's End, the last pay-per-view, December 27th in Chicago. It's going to be Paige, Swerve Strickland, the champ Samoa Joe, and the return of MJF. All four of them for the world title in a gauntlet type of match, December 27th. It's good to see MJF back. The championship around his waist again. It's bound to happen. That's going to be an interesting four-way match on December 27th next weekend. They end the year again with their ratings very low. They never go over 500,000 per telecast on TBS or TNT. But Sports Illustrated named them the wrestling promotion of the year, and Tony Khan the promoter of the year. I don't know what they were. I don't know what they were thinking.
That must have been some money underneath the table or something, because that's impossible. Like, how could that even be possible? They're not even selling out. They're not even, the ratings are terrible.
No, they're terrible, and they don't sell out, and the show doesn't interest me, and it's the same darn thing. Blood, brawls, storylines are never confused of, but yes, Sports Illustrated, still reputed, naming them promotion of the year over WWE. I don't know. Maybe they're on Tony Khan's payroll. I don't know.
It's possible.
I'm not on his payroll, that's for sure. And the stars, though, did come out for them. And I like Kyle Fletcher. Moxley and the Death Riders might be finally coming to an end, though he's still around, still getting to be a bloody mess. And how about this? Do you like White Castle hamburgers?
I mean, I haven't had one in a couple years, I think, but
Yeah, they've always
they're all right.
come. They don't agree with many people. That was my favorite as a kid. They still are. They aligned with AEW, White Castle. They're having a bacon bagel combo type of meal special in unified with AEW for the next month. So go to White Castle, Tom. You get an AEW thing. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Maybe late at night. If I'm hanging out late at night and there's nothing else, they're usually open. So
Well, now we know what Tony Khan's favorite hamburger is, White Castle.
Jesus.
I used to eat a bundle of those when I was a kid, maybe more.
Man, it probably was much better then than it is now.
No, they
Now
weren't
it
any
just goes
better.
straight through you.
But they were 5 cents a burger too.
Oh, okay.
What are they now? $1?
Something like that. I don't know. It's been a while. So.
Okay.
And the only reason then
That's
is it's late at night. If I'm hanging out or if I was playing cards or something and it's like 2:00 in the morning, it's probably one of the only things open. So.
That the pro wrestling industry is very, very lucrative. WWE is making money, charging extraordinary prices for tickets sales. People are buying into it. Merchandise sales are very high. And, of course, they've got all the networks behind them. A lot of money with Netflix and that deal and ESPN now. And the only way to watch them, you can still catch them on USA with SmackDown, but the big events, either Netflix with Raw or whatever else, and, of course, ESPN now for their PLEs. All right, Tom, that closes up wrestling for 2025. Look for a strong year in the new year for the pro wrestling industries. That continues with a lot of interesting angles developing more with WWE. By the way, SmackDown was taped the next 2 weeks or so. Raw this Monday night already taped. They give those guys a holiday break. They're off. They're pre-taped. Spoilers are out. You can catch them all on social media. I don't want to spoil it you for some more, but nothing majorly big. And Rhea Ripley, she'll be champion again New Year for WWE. Let's do our final nostalgia bag for the year, Tom. Great with
Okay.
that as well, putting up images and videos, and we love doing this every week. And here we go. First, I'm going to go over Sugar Ray Robinson, December 20th. He won his first world title, the vacant welterweight title in 1946, the Hall of Fame of the great Sugar Ray Robinson, not Leonard. December 20th. That happened on December 20th, as we're in that week. But we go to this one now, December 19th, 1981. The two-division champ, Dwight Braxton, later became Dwight Muhammad Quali. He changed his religious origins, stopped Mancuso Muhammad in the 10th round, and got the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship in Atlantic City, New Jersey on the boardwalk. Tom, fill us in a little more on this fight. I didn't cover this one. Do I remember it well?
Yeah, this was in 1981, December 19th. It was at the Playboy Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Arthur McConty was the referee. It was a 15-round fight for Saad Muhammad's title. Muhammad Quali won the title in a 10th round TKO. It was for the World Boxing Council Light Heavyweight title. It was the 9th defense for Muhammad, and he had lost. But then it was Dwight Braxton was his name back then.
Right.
He
And he became a Muslim. He converted to Muslim faith.
Yeah.
And you know what? I remember very well Dwight Muhammad Quali when he came out and became a Muslim. But I also remember his magnificent hand speed. He had that.
Another interesting note, the official weigh-in was at 8 o'clock of the morning of the fight. Saad Muhammad, the defending champion at the time, weighed in 177, which is 2 pounds over the lightweight limit. He was
Same
given
day.
2 hours to make weight.
And
At
he did.
9:55 a.m. after hitting the sauna and running on the beach, he'd weighed 174 and a half pounds to make the fight.
At the
officially
boardwalk
for
in
his
Atlantic City. He
Yeah.
went to do his run. That's when you had same-day weigh-ins. And then they went back. Then they went to this, which I don't like weigh-ins the day before. Fighters come in, as I've been saying all year on the program, and then what I write, they come in way overweight the limit that they signed for anyway to fight on fight night. So have the weigh-in the same day. Now, some people don't think that's the right idea. I do.
And that might be the reason why he lost the fight, because he didn't make weight. He had to struggle to make weight the same morning, and running the day of the fight that morning on the beach and hitting the sauna. That's probably why he ended up losing that fight. So not disciplined.
But that was a two-division champion right there. I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame. I got to look that up. But he was a good champion. Dwight Muhammad Quali, and that against Dwight Braxton. Again, that was a WBC Light Heavyweight Championship, a division that we are talking about along with the cruiserweights, sparking interest as we go into the new year in the world of boxing. Tom, let's leave with a couple of things here as we say goodbye for 2025. I had to show this. This wasn't this year, but it was a year before. And you know who that is with me, with my Cleveland Browns jacket. Yeah, Bob Backlund.
Bob Backlund.
WWF World Champion and ambassador, got involved in gimmicks. Up in Connecticut, he's health-wise not at his best right now, but still with us. And, I met him in a restaurant somewhere in New Jersey by accident that time. And we talked about the past and talked about he's a very smart guy. I got to tell you that. He can tell you everything, not only about wrestling and anything else, but about the world and politics. I remember that conversation we had. I was fascinated with his knowledge. That's when they had called him, that he became the scholar in one of his gimmicks later on. Remember that?
Yeah. He had a few little gimmicks at the end, but his scholar, I think they had him running for president one year or something like that, like vote for Backlund. But Backlund was very, the heel turn was the biggest thing, right?
Yep.
Nobody saw that coming.
No one saw that coming too back then in the 80s. In the old WWF under Vince McMahon, who also, let's face it, he's still a part of wrestling history, Vince McMahon, still with his legal issues, and he made Bob Backlund who he was. He did.
Yeah.
So thought I'd show that, and as we end the program live tonight and keep it in the ring, I want to thank everyone again, for your continued support tonight and also throughout the year. Tommy D, bringing you on with me has been just a great privilege and pleasure. Not only as a friend, as I always say, a great colleague, but also you are so adept at doing these things better than I am, helping to produce this program every week. We try and give the fans what they want. We think it's worked. We hope it continues in the new year. We want to thank everyone who's been involved with us and everyone who supported us, including Scott Churston, String Punk Entertainment. Without him, we don't do this. He's able to help us out with this as well. To all you fans out there, all I got to say this. Your support has been so important. Your support to me, Rich Mancuso, Keep It in the Ring, to Tommy D with TD Sports Talk and all his other programs. He's on YouTube. He's everywhere. You can't keep track of him every week. That is so important to us because without you, we can't do this. We just can't do this. And we will continue to do it in the new year as good as we think we did it this past year. And we leave you with a great holiday message. As always, what am I going to say? We've lost a lot of great people in this past year in the world of all over, but in boxing and in pro wrestling and contact sports. We live in an environment, in a crazy world known as creativity. That's what this all is. And we create this program every week just like they create their programs in pro wrestling and how it's all created to put a mega fight together like you will see with Teofimo and Shakur at the end of January in the new year. Creativity is the key. That guy next to me every week on the screen, as we try and format differently here, he's creative. And I have some good people behind me that always give me good ideas to be more creative. And we will do our best to continue this creativity, information, analysis, recaps in 2026. So I want to thank everyone for your great support. Tom, any final words?
Well, I just want to say thank you, Rich. I mean, I've learned a lot from you over the years. You help out with getting credentials at fights. We meet up at the fights and we talk at the fights, and you have a great article in Latino Sports as well. So if you guys are not, check it out. Latino Sports. Rich Mancuso writes, some good articles there in boxing. And, as for baseball too, you cover the Yankees, the Mets.
Oh, yeah, it keeps me busy.
Talking sports. So I learned a lot, especially with these little nostalgia clips when you bring back and you show photos with you at Tanaka. We just saw you in Backlund just now. And, even the newsletter you showed last week, that was pretty cool as well, So, so I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come up here and talk boxing and wrestling with you and having fun with it, so thank you. I mean, it's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, putting up the pictures and downloading it, getting the calendar on the bottom of the screen, the upcoming fights. We try to make this show as professional as possible, and we have fun. So I just want to thank you and thank everybody that comes in and shows supports, because doing this has taught me a lot as far as how I do my shows and the ideas. I just came up with an idea earlier today, and I was talking with D Free earlier, who was in the chat, as far as we want to do a podcast, and we were saying let's do it the way Rich does his show, because the format is great. We're not just talking about one thing; we're going topic to topic.
Exactly.
We got breaks in between. And it's a very professional show. At least we try to make it as professional as possible. So, and that's because of Rich. I learned from him. You know what I'm saying? So, and Scott as well. Scott has taught us a few things as well. So thank you to Scott as well. So just want to wish everybody a happy holidays.
Same here.
Great holiday, and 2026. It's going to be a big year. We just want to get bigger and better, and hope everybody is doing well health wise. For 2025 and 2026.
I agree, Tom. Well said. I want everybody to have a great holiday season, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, a great, happy, prosperous 2026. We'll be back with you live, maybe after Christmas, or not. Watch the social media, Ring 786 at X and Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. Like, comment, And do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Keep It in the Ring, and Tommy D Sports Talk, and the Facebook Keep It in the Ring page. Keep that going. Tommy, where did they reach you as we go on a little holiday break hiatus with the rest of the world the next week or so?
Well, you guys can catch me here on YouTube. I've taken a little break. I got a little. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna make a video, and I'll probably still do that. Little discouraged of some things that's happening health wise, and as well as turned down on some interviews, kind of put me down. But we're still on TD Sports Talk. We got some good things coming up. Like I said, we're going to start a new podcast on the channel as well. And of course, Sundays, with my man Pedro Fernandez, Ring Talk Worldwide, 2:05 Eastern time in the PM in the afternoon with Pedro Fernandez at Ring Talk Worldwide. You can catch us sportsbyline.com and just hit the stream. So that's where you'll find me.
Yeah, we're going to run out of here. I'm late for pizza, Tom. I got to go get it. Okay? So to all of you, again, happy holidays. Happy, great, prosperous 2026. Stay in touch with us here on the social media. You know where we're going to be. And as I always say, God bless. Take care of each other. Be well. Happy holidays. And as always, Tom, what do we say?
Keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring. Till next year. Thank you.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.